Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama
Hare Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna Hare 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 Rama
Hare
Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna
Rama Rama
Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama
Hare
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 Krishna
Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Rama Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hari Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Rama
Hare
Hare Rama
Rama Rama
Hari
Rama
Hari
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hari Ram.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Shri
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama Hare Hare Hare
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar
Shri Krishna,
Namaya Nitai Nada
Krishna
Namaya Nitai
Chaitanya
Nada
Krishna,
Namaya Nitai Nada
Shri
Namaya
Krishna,
Nitai Nada
Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Krishna, Jai
Namaya Nitai Nada Namaya Nitai
Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Namaya Nitai Nada Namaya Nitai Nada
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Shri
Hare
Krishna Chaitanya.
Krishna
Shri Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Chaitanya.
Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare Shri Krishna
Shri
Chaitanya
Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri
Shri
Krishna Chaitanya
Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Hare Krishna
Prabhu
Hare
Nityananda
Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Krishna
Shri Advaita Prabhu
Krishna
Nityananda
Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Shri
Nityananda
Krishna
Prabhu
Chaitanya.
Nityananda Prabhu
Nityananda
Shri
Krishna Chaitanya
Chaitanya.
Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri
Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Prabhu
Shri
Nityananda
Krishna
Shri
Chaitanya.
Advaita Gadadara
Shri
Sivasadi Gora Bhaktabri
Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Advaita.
Shri
Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Hare Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Chaitanya. Shri
Krishna.
Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu
Krishna
Nityananda.
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Shri Krishna
Hare
Chaitanya.
Rama
Prabhu
Hare Rama, Rama
Nityananda.
Rama Hare Hare.
Shri Krishna
Hare
Chaitanya.
Krishna,
Prabhu
Krishna
Nityananda.
Krishna
Shri
Krishna
Advaita.
Hare.
Shri
Hare
Krishna
Rama Hare
Chaitanya. Prabhu
Krishna Krishna Hare.
Shri
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Chaitanya. Prabhu
Rama
Nityananda.
Rama Hare.
Shri
Hare
Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. Shri
Krishna
Advaita. Shri Krishna
Hare Rama
Chaitanya.
Rama
Prabhu
Rama
Nityananda.
Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya.
Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama
Shri
Rama
Krishna. Shri Krishna
Jaya
Chaitanya.
Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna.
To be doing okay.
Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama.
All right, we read a little bit here. So this is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 7, verse number 20 through 21. Yeah, continuing on where we left off. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The characteristics of Krishna are understood to be a storehouse of transcendental love. The characteristics of Krishna are understood to be a storehouse of transcendental love. Although that storehouse of love certainly came with Krishna when he was present, it was sealed. But when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with his associates of the Panchatattva, they broke the seal and plundered the storehouse to taste transcendental love for Krishna. The more they tasted it, the more their thirst for it grew. See, it was sealed. This is the thing. It was sealed. It's like this thing with Balaram. He's putting all these speculations about Radharani and all that stuff. It's just so ridiculous. And it's all about tasting. These characteristics are a storehouse of love. If it was sealed, and it's sealed for him and all these Vaidhi Bhaktas, it's still sealed. See? But they broke the seal by tasting this love. And I don't know why they can't get this. I mean, what is so hard to understand? Talk about stubborn. Talk about idiotic. I mean, right there before their eyes, they had to break the seal by tasting this love, and that's what we do. Otherwise, it's still sealed, and that's what it is. It's sealed. I commented on Balaram's thing. I said, listen, you can't taste this bhakti, man. You're only just speculating about Radharani. You're just your fantasies about what the path is and going to Prabhupada and everything. It's still sealed. You're not tasting this love. We're tasting this love, breaking the seal. See? These characteristics are a storehouse of love. Prove it, Balaram. Prove it, all you so-called gurus. Prove that you're breaking the seal. Otherwise, it's still sealed. They can't break the seal. They can't pull the sword out of the stone. That's the thing with King Arthur. Only one person could do it. See, that was Lord Chaitanya. He broke the seal when he came here. Madhavinda Puri, okay, he had brought his devotees. Some were already there like that. Because when the Lord comes, he sends his devotees first, and they naturally chant and call him. They're always, what else can devotees do? They're always calling God. That's how they live. They live on worshiping the Lord in this ecstatic state. Yeah. So breaking the seal, they broke the seal by tasting this love. See, there. That's why you got to go through the devotee that broke the seal. You know? Look at Johan's testimony. He said, yeah, 25 years in ISKCON, couldn't break the seal. So you have to come in the real line. Yeah. Yeah, break the seal. And like this one devotee said, oh, here's another group of people, these Oshoers. You see, they look as happy as you guys, maybe happier, and pointed over there. But if you look at that group, if you really go into the thing, it's not sustainable. It's a Shakti pot. They got and they have to use each other to actually stimulate the Kundalini in people, and they get an experience. Okay, that's great, but it's not usually sustainable. A lot of these people have identity crises. If you look into it, you can go and look at the form of Osho. Have identity crisis. They don't see. This is what Jesus was talking about. You have to come in the real line. That's a yogi thing. There have always been problems with that. Somebody has some powerful awakened some Kundalini experience in Maya body too. And it may break you into a salvation type state for a while, but it's not usually sustainable because you don't have the philosophy, you don't have the deep understanding of the Lord that comes in this line. You flip out, you go crazy in some of those things. People have you can go look at the forums for people, coming out of the Osho cult. They don't know who they are, what they are. They're still looking, and they go on the path of speculations. They have some Kundalini awakening. Goes in, but it doesn't last. And then they get into all kinds of weird things after. I studied these things. I've been over there. I went to the Osho ashrams. I talked to Osho. I've been there. I went to their groups. I did a lot of stuff. It's a yogi thing. Even he didn't even believe in Krishna. Really, he says, Krishna, Coca-Cola, or Krishna's the same. Yeah. And then the end of his life, you could see he was just kind of like weird. He had this weird disciple. Poisoned everybody. What do you want to go to groups like that? Man, it's crazy stuff, man. Yeah. See, this is sustainable. We are in the real line, isn't it? Can you tell? It's sustainable. You're worshiping Krishna. You have the helper inside. You have God helping you at every step, showing you the Maya and all that stuff. They're on their own in liberation land, floating around somewhere. No philosophy, not really. Osho was a hodgepodge of. He just read all kinds of books. He would read day and night, and he got some speculation ideas and became charismatic. Okay, fine, and help people, get to a certain point. If you need that, see, God will give you whatever experiences will kind of move you along. But I feel I kissed the ground. I found this path, man. Finding Jesus and finding Prabhupada. Oh boy, finding Rupa Goswami and all these. They don't have that. They have these guys sitting on the side of them, waking their chakras. Their heart chakra, and then pineal gland. Doing stuff, pushing energy in there, and going like And where's it go? So they get an experience, and afterwards, a lot of times they're just like left, like, well, what do we do now? See, this is a devotional path. It's wonderful. I mean, you have to study these people, and I can't say some people, if you need some kind of an awakening, the Lord might lead you to that thing, and it's a step. I mean, but here we got everything. It's really nice, you got the pastimes of the Lord. You got a solid line, to keep you on, like really close to God. Phyllis, you got these beautiful books. They're a storehouse of love and devotion. You got the chanting of the holy name. Got so many beautiful things supplied in our line. So don't be fooled by just, they're pushing energy into your chakras. It's like, It's like taking it could be like a drug chip, like you take a drug and it activates your kundalini, but where you're at after that. Yeah. So, oh yeah, sorry. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. The characteristics of Krishna are understood to be a storehouse of transcendental love. Although that storehouse of love certainly came with Krishna when he was present, it was sealed. But when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with his associates of the Panchatattva, they broke the seal and plundered the storehouse to taste transcendental love of Krishna. The more they tasted it, the more their thirst for it grew. So that's when you know you're on the path, because it's like that. Just like people's thirst for things in the material world grow, when when that's all you have. See, you're out of balance. See, um, so we're just naturally have to live on something. That's why people live on it. We have taste for food, and taste for a lot of things within the world. But this taste for bhakti, taste for Krishna's um, this love of God, these loving, relishing the characteristics of God with loving ecstasy. Oh, that's that's eternal, eternally real. This lasts forever. Mm. Sri Panchatattva themselves danced again and again, and thus they made it easier to drink the nectarian love of Godhead. They danced, they cried, they laughed, and they chanted like madmen. And in this way, they distributed love of Godhead. Yeah, so that was nice. Back then, they were together. They roamed around together. They got together like this. So we're doing it like this. We have this kind of facility. We're not living together and have that kind of opportunity, but it works. It awakens love of Krishna, awakens people's relationship with the Lord, you know and it grows. Yeah, that's the main thing. So yeah, the Lord has provided this. Yeah. And if you guys have an energy crisis over there, I don't know, I keep hearing things, and Evo said his electricity went out. I don't know what's going on exactly there. But if it gets to be weird, you might want to get a generator or something, or maybe might be too expensive. I mean, it's weird stuff going on now. I don't know what's exactly. And it's hard to tell what information you get over here, because everything is. You can't almost believe in anything now. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. But if there's energy problem over there where you can't, maybe think about looking into a generator while you can get them, and then learn how to use the generator. YouTube videos. Are you having any energy problems over there, like lights?
No, no, but he lives on the other side of the country, Ivo.
I
So
see.
not here, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, uh, in distributing love of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. Oh yeah, actually, River, why don't you restart reading a little bit here? Text number 23, if you can, if you want to.
Thank you, Maharaj. Can you hear me all right?
Let's see. Oh yeah, maybe. Let me turn my sound up. Yeah, I think we're very good.
In distributing love of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates did not consider who was a fit candidate and who was not, nor where such distribution should or should not take place. They made no conditions. Wherever they got the opportunity, the members of the Panch Tattva distributed love of Godhead.
Yeah, whoever was open to it. See, not fit or unfit. Like this is the people. They they're so rigid. They think, oh, you had to be qualified and all of this. Oh, wherever, like here, whoever will come and take to the association of these wonderful devotees in our sangha here. Not whether you're fit or we don't care. Just are you open? Do you welcome this kind of bhakti? Do you like this kind of association? Do you want this way of worship and protection? Does it appeal to you? This is yeah. So wherever they got the opportunity, like here, wherever we get the opportunity, we'll just say, whoever's open. Oh, the Lord is thinking that way too. He sees if you're interested, like here in His devotees. Oh, where then He sees this is an opportunity for Him to awaken in you. This is teamwork. The devotee and the Lord work together. Oh, look at this. You're coming into the association of my devotees. Then he jumps in, he wakes it up in your heart. See, where he's thinking, wherever he's the opportunity that he can awaken, but he can only wake up where he trusts that he can be taken care of. He needs a good father and mother, you see. Otherwise he stays dormant in people's hearts. Where is he going to be taken care of? See, so that's sadhu sangha. That's why people come here and they have quick awakenings if they're really quick, open. The Lord's looking for the opportunity to wake up in you. If you're open to it, you believe in this preaching. If you're ready to abandon your opinions, you got to be qualified or that you know all about bhakti, even though you don't have any transcendental taste. I mean, that's the why there's no opportunity with Balaram and people like him. There's so many devotees like that. There's no opportunity to distribute there. Okay? But people that are open, they come here and they're not thinking they know everything about bhakti. They want to learn from experienced devotees. Oh, then the Lord very pleased to awaken in you. Isn't that what happens with the new people coming here, like Amy and Fanny? And the Lord is pleased. Oh, He's looking also for an opportunity to awaken. He's not incapable. He just wants to be able to be in proper hands to wake up. Krishna says, my devotees are the root from which I grow. He will, it's just like a baby is born to a father and mother, and the father and mother take care of it. Well, that's sadhu sangha. That's the bona fide spiritual master. That's the sadhus. They take care of the babies coming. You notice? Yeah. Otherwise, the Krishna was not awake, and we have to take care of them. Like yesterday with Maria, you see, going over there, and she said, "Well," because she was saying, she got her arm thing, and she was kind of out of sync with everything, and she said, but she was really, she said, God, she was saying, I feel really like disconnected, and she didn't quite know, and then I said, well, let's sit down and chant, and we did. She said, oh, she got it again. See, this is how the Lord shows us. Showed me. I said, oh, that's how important it is. So you got to feed the kids. Very important, the devotees association. See, that's what makes it work here. See, so that's the thing when these people that are like pushing energy into your chakras and pushing the, how are they maintaining you with how, See, we have this wonderful, like conception of the absolute truth that's so perfect, actually, in these wonderful books. That's why Prabhupada took great care to preserve them, and to write them. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, River.
Maharaj, isn't that a form of what that guy was doing? A form of mystic power, really?
Well, it's just it's Shaktipad they call
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's a they it's technique, yogic technique, and pushing energy into the chakras. And if you look, I looked at a few of those videos with different people, and they would be using the energy. He would see, and other people like that in the same group, they would see somebody like getting the energy, and they would bring them over and put their hand on the chakras to put that energy in, you know. And so it's a bit artificial and unsustainable, because then after what are you doing afterwards? Yeah, where's the purification? Because it's going to happen. People are going to freak out, and. So anyway, I'm sure because they have their little groups and they have stuff, but it's not clear. It really is a yogi thing. A lot of people, they have to go into these groups to get orientated back into the world, because they're a little bit like identity. They don't know who they are. See, we're servants of Krishna. We know that. We know we have an identity. You lose your identity. This is why the Mayavadi thing is a bit scary, because people start coming onto a liberation thing. They lose they don't know who they are or what they are. They're merging, and it's a fearful thing, actually, because you don't have your real identity. Here, you grow into you're an eternal servant of Krishna. So you go from the false ego to the true ego identification perfectly. See, not speculatively and all. There's so many things. It's like Jesus said, if you don't come in the door, you'll get thrown out of the kingdom, and they get thrown out. You know, there's offenses, just naturally offenses. The offenses of not believing in Krishna. Not believing, not understanding the transcendental potency, not understanding the transcendental qualities and vibrations. They think it's all the same. It's all one. Type thing. It's just. Yeah. Yeah. You're lucky you don't have to deal with that. Oops, I think, here you go. Back on here. Go ahead.
I said I think that guy's page is fake, because I looked on his page. There's only a few posts. The guy that sent you this challenge of the Shak.
Oh, that was a challenge? I don't know.
Well, he said
Maybe.
this is a challenge to you. He
Well, it
said
just
it in
shows a video that was one video. Well, what's the follow up on that?
his
One
night.
video, people getting there, and okay, wonderful. But what's going on afterwards? I mean, here they can see every day. Do you see what's going on here? Do you see how everybody is cared for? Everybody is growing.
Saying, yeah.
It's sustainable. That I'm telling you, I've been there, done that. I know Osho people. I've been, that's lucky you got a guru like this, because most, don't have experience. I have so many things I've done and experience. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So and the Muktananda did the same thing. They awake people's Shakti, and also. And so, I knew a guy who left that because he also had all these things, and he left it for Jesus. Because even Jesus is a more cleaner experience, because that's a Mayavadi thing. It's impersonal, and my heart's always never liked impersonalism, man. This impersonal God. Some Christians also, they get off the path. They go to this impersonal book. What's it called? The Course in Miracles, which is a bit of this impersonalism mixed in, and also not a clear line. I don't know. I read that. I don't. I like devotional, to be connected with those who know God intimately, have an eternal relationship, and not this, thing. Dangerous stuff, actually. And anyway, whoever shows up here, very lucky. I feel lucky to find this, man. It's so, I used to do satsangs in Trina. What's this place? Trinamalai or something. This place in South India, where all these Mayavadi types like that go. the Osho people, they went over there and they go to satsangs and all that. I had them coming into my group, because I did a satsang thing also, but it was a bhakti satsang. And, they were, a lot of them were, they left, some of them left Vaishnavism for that because they got a little taste in that. Whereas all they got were rules and regulations and mandates and they wanted something more. So they go to the Mayavadi to get some people looking for taste. But then there was some problem. There's a problem there because only this Mayavad thing taste. And one lady was ready to commit suicide till she came to the group. She said, "Wow," she said, felt because she went from the Gaudiya Math teaching to the Ramana Maharshi teaching, and then she came to my satsang. She said, this is what I was looking for." Um, and it helped her because she was ready to. She said because the Mayavadi thing wasn't it for her either. Yeah, so there's all the. I remember doing kirtan in that place too. I would sit there and do play the harmonium. They're impersonal. They had. I rather be with atheists because they had no interest. They were completely ignored the whole thing. They had no. There was no response. That's why when Jesus, I knew. That's when I realized Jesus said, "Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Better to hate me or love me, but don't be in between." Because this lukewarm thing was not at all. Just walk past me. The same thing in there. I got some. I chastised one guy here. I mean, whether he's yeah, because he agrees with Balaram's. He knows who he is here too. I won't mention his name. But he agreed with Balaram's preaching. He did. Looks like he agrees with me in this preaching. And I just said, "Hey, man, you guys got no salt. You want to be Balaram and him. They want to be everybody's friend, but you got no salt, man. You can't do much like that. I'll be everybody's friend, and you're no one's friend in that way." This path, if you're following the real guru and with the real opinion, then you'll be everybody's friend, even though some people will hate you. You're their friend. You're their best friend. You're getting the poison out of them. Otherwise, this other stuff is this wishy-washy stuff. You know, I wouldn't want to. He's look at Balaram. He's association with Ram Das Vijayavasi, which is poison. And he, oh well, I'm a friend of poison. Yeah, well, good. That's why you're poisoned. That's why you got no ecstasy. He don't do. He says, "You see, I got a few hairs. So what? What is that?"
One tear.
Yeah. Yeah. One tear once in a while. Yeah, well, it's only because somehow you have a wife like this, and you've been around here a bit. So
It's still the same tear from 5 years ago.
see, 5 years ago, yeah, I had that one tear.
Whereas, what is that somebody's lacking? I mean, I know it's Krishna, but what is somebody lacking when they just want to be everybody's friend? They just want to be nice to everybody, just be their friend. They don't actually want to be themselves. Is it because they don't know how to be themselves? They cannot be themselves.
False
Well,
ego.
they're it's just you're in the modes of nature. You're mixed. See, so even the mode of goodness. Look at Daksha. He was in the mode of goodness, right? But he was poisoned to be around simply because he's a non-devotee. For a devotee, I wouldn't want to associate with Daksha intimately because he's full of false ego. Just like people in the mode of goodness, if they're non-devotees, see, I'd rather be around a demon that loves Shiva. See, there are demons who love Shiva and they were empowered by Shiva. They beat the Brahmins. They won because of siding with Shiva, who's a pure devotee. Those who sided with Daksha, they got punished because of going against pure devotees. See, there's a difference. See, so you could be everybody's friend in the mode of goodness. And see, there's that pastime with Mukunda. He was like that. He was acting. Oh, he would go to Mount Mayavadis and be their friends. Be nice. And, oh, very nice you're doing. And this other group, oh, very nice. And all the groups, he was everybody's friend, like Balaram. And the Lord said, "Get out of here, man. I don't want to see you for 10 million lifetimes. I came here to teach bhakti. And what are you doing? You're sitting there, everybody's friend. I'm teaching the principles of bhakti. The same thing. That's salt. If you lose your salt, you lose your savor. Isn't that Jesus teach that? Salt means you add some spice to life. You add the spice of the truth into life. No hate it. Doesn't matter. It's spice. Makes your life spicy. It makes people spicy. They have some flavor. That's bhakti, man. And so Mukunda was chastised for just being everybody's friend, and he actually lost his bhakti doing that too. He became bland. See? So notice I don't lose my salt, do I? Because I stay salty. I even say that guy's so salty, man. Why can't he? He's too salty. Right? I'd rather be salty, man. Why? Because I teach real bhakti. That's why I love these books. That's why you're learning how to do it too. These books, these principles, are to be preached in the world because they're a storehouse of what? Love of Krishna. See? So that's why these guys ball around speculating on Radha. What does he know about Radharani? It's ludicrous, actually. That's why now I just add some salt, man. I just tell them the truth, man. I'm into that, man. We're all the time. I don't care. You don't like it? I think he kind of likes it in some way. He,
Yeah,
res-
yeah, yeah.
he responds like a nice, "Ooh." And then he used that thing, the same thing. That I said, I know he's going to drum up that one verse that Prabhupada said, you know. But still, it doesn't. It's like, okay, well, like let's show us that it worked for you, man. It worked for me because I had ecstatic love already from the beginning, because of obviously past lives. I already had it awakened with Jesus, even. But what about yours? And what about all your other God brothers? They're dry as bones, man. This is wet. Come here, man. You want to see what real bhakti is, what real truth is? Real solid cosmos is? Come here. That's all right. Oops, what happened? I lost you. You could laugh, no problem. It's good. Add some spice.
It's like let me just turn this off. I don't know what's happening with this. The sickness that I have, it's about no salt. No salt, no salt, no salt. But this gives me this gives me this gives me the real salt. This gives me the real taste. Like you said, the real spice. Even this with this sickness is drying for this body because of not being able to drink so much. But this gives me the real liquid, the real fruit, the real juice. So yeah, I completely understand. And as well with this thing with Balaram, I think I have that in my with my false ego. Wanting everybody to be my friend.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh,
Yeah. The
sorry.
deeper you see, the deeper you get Krishna as your friend, then you realize
Let go.
Krishna is your friend, and the advanced devotees are your real friends. Otherwise, you got
Yeah.
no real friends in the world. Everybody can turn on you in any second. The modes of nature turn people. That's why people, if they don't reach the devotional platform, they can switch, or they don't get real solid in it too, because the Maya is very powerful. They got to grow and mature and get strong, because even people turn. My ex-wife turned, just by being around a charismatic Narayan Raj, just like that. Immediately, she became an enemy. They started chastising me and all that stuff, and immediately just turned like how a dog is your friend and everything. If you take it, then it just immediately just like, yeah. So that's called bad association. See, I had to learn gradually about these things. This, for a while, it threw me for a loop. What's going on? How did that happen, man? She was just my disciple before, and we were married, but because not strongly rooted in that, and then just at the first opportunity of that association, because that's the thing. This is one of the obstacles. That's why I'm preaching more like, hey man, you had 50 years, you don't have what we have. So it's time, does anybody want to, you come with us if you want the real life, or you want the many lifetime path, we'll go there. So it's nothing to do with being offensive of some kind of sentimental idea. Hey man, we're into the truth. Where's truth? Where's ecstatic love? That's here. Krishna is showing he's authorizing this. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be ecstatic. They're not. You show me one ecstatic devotee there.
They get nothing what we get, what we receive.
No, they're all into the etiquettes and all that stuff. You can even see those guys that were awakened, with the Kundalini awakening. You look, I was watching afterwards. Oh, they're all doing the like kind of rules, regulations, and stuff, And the Buddha is there. They're giving obeisances to the Buddha. See Mayavadi stuff. It's just all mixed in. Nothing, no solid. That's why they have an identity crisis sometimes. After that, they don't know who they are, what they are. It's not clear.
Yeah, we learn to identify with Krishna, which makes everything clear, and actually gives us that movement. It gives us that real movement to keep moving and leaving this form, this consciousness of form behind. I've seen that kind of stuff before, and this is just wow. Maharaj, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, this is because, see, Krishna is real, even though we don't see him material, really.
Yeah.
He's really real, and so is Lord Caitanya. These are eternal manifestations. And when we leave the body and everything, if some people see them now, like I had that second disciple, she actually saw Krishna. Some people get that, or you get dreams and stuff like this, but we get the feeling. See, we feel this relation, which is more important than anything. Because it's real. See, they don't know exactly. It's not clear. See, speculations in the Mayavadi. Nothing's clear. This is very clear, and it's very sustainable. And our love and our companionship with God, and then the God is our guide. It's very important. It's very,
Yeah.
It's really amazing, actually. This whole thing. And our part we play in it. The devotees would be very lucky if they figured what's going on here. Because you see what happens when you don't really realize Krishna. You become, look at Ram Das Vrijavasi, look at Balaram, look at they're all floating around in their speculations. They don't even, Ram Das Vrijavasi doesn't even know what real bhakti is. And he's claiming to be a Radha Dasis, and he's a mixture. He can't tell the difference between Prabhupada and Sridhar Maharaj, or Prabhupada and Narayan Maharaj. I can tell the difference, and Prabhupada could tell the difference. Bhakti Siddhanta can, because those who have the real protection, intimate association, and connection with the real line are protected. That's why you guys are protected. They're not, because they show the symptoms of not having the full protection. Yeah, they're devotees. They'll eventually get it, but like Narayan Raj told them, many lifetimes before you'll attain what we have already. All they have to do is think, like consider, like God, maybe we can get this, and they can if they will, like loosen up a little bit. If not, we'll just, whoever will come here, whoever Krishna sends, we'll do with them. And after a while, they'll come later. Even in this life, maybe, they see like 50, 60, or 100 people that are really getting this, really feeling this shelter. Yeah, really feeling this shelter. Then they'll start questioning, like, well, maybe we're missing the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, read on.
Did I do that one? Okay. Although the members of the Panch Tattva plundered the storehouse of love of Godhead and ate and distributed its contents, There was no scarcity, for this wonderful storehouse is so complete that as the love is distributed, the supply increases hundreds of times. I will read that one again. Although the members of the Panch Tattva plundered the storehouse of love of Godhead and ate and distributed its contents, there was no scarcity, for this wonderful storehouse is so complete that as the love is distributed, the supply increases
Yeah.
hundreds of
So
times.
what is the storehouse? See, the storehouse are the characteristics and qualities of Krishna. See, and when you're in with sadhu sangha, you get attraction to those qualities. You get bhakti lata bish. See, and then as you distribute, you just like you do. See, you guys are doing classes now and distributing by tasting. See, you're tasting these qualities and distributing, just like the Lord did, like the devotees do. That's what we're teaching. We're teaching as it is. Uh, and people that are against getting this taste, they don't even know what real Krishna consciousness is. It's all this taste, and that's how we distribute it. Otherwise, what is it? You think they're in their heads, about like Balaram, for example. It's in his head. He's just a good example of practically all the Vaidis. They're in their head about it, and their speculations and their imaginations about it. You see, we're in the experience of it. We're in the reality of it. See, as it is. We're tasting these qualities and distributing them. See, we're tasting these characteristics of the Lord and distributing them at the same time, and distributing real knowledge about these things so people can find the real path. You can sink oh, wow, this is how you do it. Yeah, this is how you do it. You come into this association of devotees tasting these qualities. See? And you hear that vibration, you see you see these transformations. Now you're learning something about bhakti. Now you're not learning who is a real devotee. Otherwise, nobody knows. See, Narayan Maharaj didn't teach it because nobody has seen who is a real devotee. They're all like imagining what one is. How do you know? Well, they don't even recognize, do they? None of them. Oh, well, you're not real devotees. We are in our speculations. See? No, real devotees, where's the devotional potency? Manifested. Where's that taste for the name? Yeah. Not, oh, he's a big saint. Look how renounced he is. That's all I saw in these kind of things. The best, either heavy rules and heavy renunciations. It was the best they can do. But no heavy ecstasy. See, no heavy truth, no clear truth, no, like in alignment with the revealed scriptures. You notice that? You read the scriptures and you hear the people speak here, the mature devotees, you see it's in alignment with the scriptures. See, when
Balaram
you,
doesn't do the
yeah,
rules, Maharaj.
go ahead.
Balaram doesn't do the rules, really. He doesn't follow those rules.
Yeah, he's just a teachy guy. He's like Mina. They like to teach. It's prestige. They like name it, believe it's in their way, kind of being important like that. They don't understand the happiness devotees feel in relishing what's really important. The real truth is important. That's why you got to be a real disciple. Until he and Mina and others become real disciples and really listen to an empowered devotee authorized by the Lord, where they can have confidence they got a real guru. They won't change. They can't change. They'll just be speculators. Some point you got to be a real disciple. See, you guys are becoming real disciples, or are real disciples. By that's why Krishna's entrusted you. He's given you the spiritual potency. He sees your heart, that you're honest in that way. Yeah. Go ahead. Read on.
the flood of love of Godhead swelled in all directions, and thus young men, old men, women, and children were all immersed in that inundation. Is that the right word? In that
Inundation.
inundation. Yeah. The Krishna consciousness movement will inundate the entire world and drown everyone, whether one be a gentleman, a rogue, or even lame, invalid, or blind.
Yeah, you see, that's how it is. If you just meet the real devotees who have real bhakti, you'll be inundated. It doesn't matter if you're high or low, or it doesn't matter if you just approach the Lord's devotees. They're the door to this. You know, not non-devotees. People approaching non-devotees with no devotion to get into Krishna's domain doesn't work. See, so that's proof. I mean, if you're approaching non-devotees and they're saying where are the doors to Vrindavan, then and you don't get in. Obviously, they're really not a real devotee of that stature. They still, you're not getting in. At least Prabhupada, he said, this is postgraduate. He told people, he said, obviously, if this, Chaitanya Lila is the door to Vrindavan. That's why I told Alita this morning, this is the door to Radha and Krishna. And what did Prabhupada say? He knew. He said, no, well, this is postgraduate. When you're ready, that's why, okay, when you're ready, if you're ready, you'll listen here because this is the door to Vrindavan. Otherwise, you're not getting in. I see so many people, they just worship Krishna directly, and the Narayan Raj group was more like that, even though they do worship Lord Chaitanya a bit. But it's more Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. But they're not qualified for that. They didn't need the mercy of Gauranga coming through as real associate. They didn't have it there. So if they don't agree with my opinion, too bad. I've been there, done that. If you want to stay dry, stay with that group. I don't know, what's it to me? I have a nice group here. We're juicy, full of juice here, you know. And we're growing. You guys look more or less the same, even that group. Go look at them from where they just maybe less now because their leader is gone. Matter of fact, I don't hear much about them anywhere. It's just they scatter. This is the thing. If you don't find the real kingdom of God, you start scattering here. We're not scattering because why? The Lord is very attractive, and He's this truth. There is nothing like it. This is the best philosophy in the whole world. That's why I've always been saying this is the best philosophy. Muji can't come up with anything like this, and speculating on the path, like ISKCON and all that, their ceremonies and their worshiping Radha and Krishna and everything. No, you need this juicy Sankirtan movement, this prema, You come into this group very quickly. Look at Fanny, look at Amy. They're getting juiced up, because of their faith in what we're doing, their belief in this. And it's not blind. They think about stuff. They know. They have experiences. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, read on.
When the 5 members of the Panchtattva saw the entire world drowned in love of Godhead and the seed of material enjoyment in the living entities completely destroyed, they all became exceedingly happy.
Yeah, and even if that seed isn't completely destroyed in us, simply because, and before we pass away, simply because we have attraction to Krishna, we'll be led to the devotees where they are, and that'll be completely just wiped out with so much association. Okay? Here we're working at least coming to the point of love of Krishna, and then we go as deep as we go, but the thing is now we're qualified with this attraction. See, it's like the law of attraction. You know, they have this thing they teach, a new age thing. It's the law of attraction, but usually they want to use that for material, attract money and stuff like this. But here, we're attracting Krishna by this bhakti, this devotion. You get bhakti lata bees here. You're just, Krishna's naturally attracted to you. You're naturally attracted to him. And just like magnets, you come in together. Regardless of whatever piddly desires we have, it's taken care of. Just the more of this association, more of this water. You just go on forever till it's the seed is completely gone. You know, this is the easy way. What Narayan Raj was teaching in groups like that, you got to destroy it on your big sadhana. You don't get this bhakti lata bij. You got to work your way up to it, and this called sadhana siddha, without the mercy. See, we do mercy, siddha, what they call kripa siddha. You become perfect by mercy. See, you get bhakti lata bij right away. See, and then you just water. They are trying to work up to it. This is the wrong path he's teaching. Sorry, but that's the truth. That's why it doesn't work. The bottom line is Krishna knows, devotees know. I learned, I checked it out. Doesn't work. Not in this life. You can't even find one example. I mean, I stayed at the ashrams and talked to his highest devotees. And they're great at austerities, man. Very, like a Devananda Pandit, very respectful, sometimes, nice mode of goodness qualities, maybe some liberation type quality. Sometimes mystic. They got a little mystic stuff, because of their austerities. But this kind of bhakti, nowhere. Yeah. So this is what I found. I said, this is because this is in alignment with, you could see what the kind of ecstasy they had back then, the kind of understanding they had. See, we have it here, and that's why I didn't see it anywhere, not in any of the groups. It's beautiful. Yeah, go ahead.
The more the five members of the Panch Tattva cause the rains of love of God to fall, the more the inundation increases and spreads all over the world. There's a small purport here. Do you want me to read that?
Yeah, read a little bit of
Or you were going to do it?
Yeah, read a little of purport, and you'll see where probably some bitey stuff in there too. Because Prabhupada's, you got to understand, Prabhupada's just starting this movement, encouraging people, and getting them, and he'll say, go ahead, read it. I'll show you.
The Krishna consciousness movement is not stereotyped or stagnant. It will spread all over the world in spite of all objections by fools and rascals that Europeans and Americans, Malechans, cannot be accepted as brahmanas or sannyasis.
You see again, right there. That's not really the Krishna consciousness movement, sannyasis and brahmins. See, that's another thing. But that's what his mission was, Varnashram Dharma. You write the books. But you notice the Krishna consciousness movement here, what we're spreading is not about making Brahmins and sannyasis. That is actually an obstacle to what we're preaching now. Because they end up becoming puffed up, proud. I'm a Brahmin, I'm a sannyasi. And it becomes hindrance to them. Yeah. So that's not really, he's just getting something going, It's his Brahmin. He wanted to make Brahmins and sannyasis and stuff. Matter of fact, a lot of times it's experimentation. He was experimenting, just like we also experiment. How do you get this thing going? It takes life experience. He made sannyasis, and then he thought, oh my God, I think this didn't work, man. Look at, they're getting all puffed up, man. They're becoming proud. One group, it was, I think, who's his name? One of his close disciples really started teaching Mayavadi stuff, and all that, became. So didn't always work out, and they're falling down like crazy and all this stuff. It's just he wanted to disband that. Didn't work. So Prabhupada did as much as he could. So now we have it. I think, see, the thing is, the bottom line is proof of work, right? What's working?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I told Balaram. I said, because he quotes this thing, all you need is the book Bhagavad, because Prabhupada said, and or, okay? All right, well, look at you. You still don't have ecstatic symptoms. It didn't work for you. See? But it worked for me because, and then I told him why. Life experience. Yeah, because I had bhakti from the beginning. Then I could overcome the obstacles. Prabhupada could overcome the obstacles. He's talking basically because he could do it. But if he was around long enough, he could see, well, look, my disciples aren't getting over this, right? That's what I saw. I'm looking, you could say, if you're a real acharya, guru is one, and you got real devotion, ecstatic love of God, mature to some extent, you're going to see what Prabhupada would see in that sense if he were here. That's why he has to work through us in that way, or the line works through us, because this is the living link. See, say, yeah, well, fine, that's fine and dandy for those I found. If you had bhakti, yeah, I didn't have any living. Narayan Raj couldn't help me. Radhakund Babaji's couldn't help me. Tamal Krishna couldn't help me. None of them could. But Prabhupada's books could, like Prabhupada said, certain persons. I come to see. It's not helping Balaram, is it? He needs a living link, but he won't accept. Therefore, he stays like he is. You can't force your way in. He can be in his mind about Radharani and be happy about all that, but that ain't pure bhakti. He's not even awakened yet. He's not attracted to this bhakti. He's a Vaidhi Bhakta. He's not attracted to ecstatic devotion. We thought he was. Probably Lalita thought he was. But maybe he was attracted to something else. I don't know.
He invited all of us to Turkey.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was part of
That
the
was
group
fun. Yeah,
following
yeah, yeah.
for
That was,
months.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was fun too. It was great. We had a great time over there.
He built a house for the Sangha. So you think he's attracted, of course.
Yeah, is he? Yeah, you would think. Yeah,
Say.
yeah. How's it? Is the house finished yet, or what? No, still not. Yeah,
Oh, he's
and
reading Prabhupada's books now. For months. Since I'm gone, he stopped working, of course. He's reading Prabhupada's books.
he stopped working.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's good. He's still reading Prabhupada's books. Well, yeah. You got to hear it. Ultimately, yeah, I don't know. He's got to become like Johan. Johan read Prabhupada's books and everything. But see, he's not. I guess he's just not attracted. Some people are just not attracted to this bhakti. Johan in
Johan
his,
is really doing
huh?
Johan
What?
is really doing his best to talk to Balaram, but doesn't
Yeah,
work.
it's just he's just not. It's not. It's just some people are just not attracted to this bhakti. What are you going to do? It's just how it's destiny. See, you need this opinion to get this bhakti awakened. You have to follow the process. It doesn't. You can't speculate your way into this thing. It says transcendental mellows is not uh, attainable by speculation. That's the problem. See, he likes his speculation still. Speculate. He's a big teacher that way, and it gets. See, he's feeding what's not really the Bhakti Lata Bish. This is pride, false ego, being like a teacher important, like like teacher, yeah. Which is, it's yeah. But if you want to really teach uh, properly, you got to be a real student first. Anyway, someday he'll get there, right? The others may come in first. Yes. Hey, we got Maria because I started early today, so she gets up at 3 o'clock usually. Okay, so yeah, go rest up there, Maria. Thanks for coming. Go ahead there, River. Rena.
the impersonalists, fruitive workers, false logicians, blasphemers, non-devotees, and the lowest among the student community are very expert in avoiding the Krishna consciousness movement, and therefore the inundation of Krishna consciousness cannot touch them.
Read that again.
Okay. The impersonalists, fruitive workers, false logicians, blasphemers, non-devotees, and the lowest amongst the student community are very expert in avoiding the the Krishna consciousness movement,
You
and
see,
therefore
that's it. That's the Vaidhi Bhaktas, basically. They're the lowest of the student community. They're very expert at avoiding. See, they don't like what we do.
the Krishna
And they
consciousness cannot touch them.
no, it can't. What we're doing can't touch them, even though they're following. Lord Chaitanya said. He said, even though the student community they're chanting Hare Krishna and they're following the rules and regulations of the Vedas, they're blasphemers and critics. Isn't that? You see, it's what happened then happens now. They blaspheme what we're doing and criticize. Okay, and so they're the lowest of the student community, but so they're very expert at avoiding what we're doing here, and yeah, yeah. So that's just how it works, man. We have revival here, revival of everything.
Okay. Seeing that the Mayavadis and others were fleeing, Lord Chaitanya thought, I wanted everybody to be immersed in this inundation of love of Godhead, but so, but some of them have escaped. Therefore, I shall devise a trick to drown them also. Thus, the Lord accepted the sannyasi order of life after full consideration.
Yeah, and you see, full consideration. What was he considering? Well, these persons, they like rules and regulations, and they're looking always to see if you're following the rules and regulations strictly like they're following. And so he acted to the best he could. When you're too ecstatic, you can't fully do it. But he would follow strictly the sannyasa, or and act like a regulated devotee. You could see even he would talk like one. Someday he would say, "I'm just an ordinary conditioned soul. I need to be very careful." You know, yeah, he would act like that, and he won their trust that way.
Yeah, great
See,
trick.
so yeah, so that shows you how wonderful Lord Chaitanya is, that he went to that extent to save everybody. Um, But see, Nityananda was concerned with the more. He was just more himself, and like this, and he would liberate the householders, the dacoits, or anybody that didn't criticize him for being who he was. Just like here, people, if you come here and don't think, "Whoa, go on, you had a cup of coffee," I'm out of here, man. We're like some of these guys. Oh, look at that! You're sitting next to that lady, man. You know, yeah, and that's not Krishna kind. Oh, that's not. You're not supposed to do these things. Blah blah blah. You see, like this. So the only hope for them is if some devotee takes that on and just starts, will do it like that, like Lord Chaitanya did, and win their trust and all that. But Nityananda didn't change. He just like I don't think I'm gonna be doing that. I'll just deal with whoever will come here. If you want this ecstatic love and this potency that the devotees got, you come here. It's good. If you don't have a hard time, don't overly criticize anybody here. You'll get it and you'll stay here. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
So if you're open, if you're good with that, great. If not, go and follow these dry sannyasis and persons, because I haven't seen anybody that I would say is really ecstatically, like a nice sannyasi. The best I see that Prem Parojana has some good qualities. I mean, he's good, but he's in the Narayan Raj thing, line, and they don't even, it's so funny. They don't even like him, the Narayan, but they don't like him. But that's in a sense a good thing because it shows he's got some potency. Okay. They sent me because this is the thing. All these groups, they end up being real traditionalists. They're not like an acharya is outside of that tradition. They're in it and outside, both. They're in the tradition, but they expand the tradition. They expand the understanding. They expand the deliverance according to the time, the preaching according to the time, place, and circumstance. They make it work just by their association, actually. That's why it worked with Prabhupada when he was here. Even though he's a sannyasi and he was like that, still things kind of worked because he was here personally in his living form. And as soon as he disappeared, all the traditions and the dryness started to come back. Okay, go ahead.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained in household life for 24 years, and on the verge of his 25th year, he accepted the sannyasi order. After accepting the sannyasi order, Sri Chaitanya
He didn't need to do this sannyas thing. Just even his mother said, "What are you going taking sannyas for? Why don't you just happily have kirtan with the devotees? Why do this and just happily do your kirtans and everything? Because that's all. I mean, that's all you have to do when you're an ecstatic devotee. All you have to do is chant the holy name in ecstasy, alone and in association with devotees. That's it, really. Yeah. And you got all. You don't need to go and take sannyas and do all these things. You already got the mercy.
It was
Just go
better for
on.
doing the job.
What? What?
It was better for doing the job, actually, to take sannyas.
Yeah, to help to help those the fault finders and all that. But it brought them more close. But still, if you would find fault, like that would be you would cause offense. Even here, I have to help the devotees that are like in a mode of goodness sometimes because they end up finding fault with the devotees who might not be so always there. They might be have issues and all that, but the Lord ain't waiting. If He's living in your body, you got to give respect to that. And otherwise, you're mundane. You're seeing things mundane, like in the mode of oh, this person's got good energy, that person's got bad energy. I say no. I gotta hear. You got to learn to look at where is Krishna's energy. If it's in a person, they might have other modes and issues they're working out, but still, the Lord's in their body. And so you got to see like that. Better to be around a harsh person who has God living in their body than being around a perfectly good person with good energy, but it's only good. Hey man, give me a coarse ruffian that has God living inside them. I'd rather have theirs because that's transcendental. I don't care about this outside thing. You have to see like that. If you don't, you'll lose. You'll become offensive to real devotees that the Lord is living in. So and yeah, because sometimes some people here do that. Shastra says you're looking only the outside. You got to look on the inside. So anyway, we'll learn the lessons. I'll just continue, sharing what the Lord shows me.
absolutely. Please keep continuing for us, Maharaj.
Yeah.
So available for us. It's amazing. you know, with having this kind of life, you know, and not being able to live it because of this sickness, you know, and being able to embrace this path and come out of all of that, you know, and just live, really, really live. Wow. So many people's problems can be just eradicated by coming here and actually
Right.
staying here. Yeah.
Because, see, we have the Lord Caitanya as our friend and our well-wisher, our benefit. See, he's the benefactor of the entire universe. We have him as our friend. We get special privileges, and if you get envious and jealous, but we get special privileges, well, you can come here too and get special privileges. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, it's like here, it's not like we're Trump or we got special, we're elites, we got special privileges, and you'll never get them. See, there's a difference here. We have more special privileges than that they have, but you can come here and get it also. Now that's called magnanimity. See, we have that kind of power, spiritual power, yeah, to give that kind of special privilege. And it is a special privilege. It's a special privilege to be distributing this to others. You know, it's a special privilege to receive this, and then you'll see when you receive it, you know, this is really special. This is different than anything.
We're
Yeah,
like um, we're like
yeah,
transcendental ambassadors for Lord Chaitanya because we get these
exactly.
privileges.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what we are. If this is not passed on this way, Krishna consciousness will just disappear because it's not strong enough just to have it as a religion. It'll just
Mm.
do what it did. It disappeared at a certain. Lord Chaitanya had to revive it. How? Like this. The juice. He had to bring the juice back into it. Otherwise, it gets material. It becomes religion. It becomes only ceremony. Like it's already doing that. It's already like ceremonies and religion and speculations and the Balaram types. You know, and then they start speculating more offenses. These are all. Talk about. He was talking. It's so funny. He's talking about, oh, this is how you don't be offensive to Radha, and you go through Lord Adwaita and all that. I said, talk about offense. You're hiding the real path. That's why I stand there. I got salt, man. I'm going to keep that salt. I stood right up and I said, nope, you're teaching the wrong path. Yeah, this is the right path. You go through the living devotee, and here's why. And then he puts up his Prabhupada said this, and then I say, well, yeah, it doesn't work. See, that's salt. You speak the truth. Truth will set people free. Then people have a choice. You have a choice to believe in Balaram, who has no ecstasy, or to believe in devotees who have ecstasy. Bhagavad Gita 10:10. To those who worship Krishna with loving ecstasy, to them they have the real knowledge. To them they have the real understanding. Can you imagine Balaram doesn't understand what I just said? What kind of guide is he? Speculator, man. Even though I tell him, you tell him direct. Bhagavad Gita 10:10. I wrote in it, Bhagavad Gita 10:10. You don't understand nothing. That's why, in some lifetime, he's got to go through a living devotee. Otherwise, he'll just die as he is and take another birth as he is and get another chance. You're not going to Vrindavan like that. No way. You're going to speculate on Radharani? She'll slap you. So therefore, I slap you first. You won't even get over there to be slapped by her. You can't get in.
It's like he's taken because he thinks he's been. I'll say it.
He thinks he's been what?
I'm gonna read it to you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yamuna, you have absolutely no idea. No, I may pass as a Calcutta thief, but this is nothing. In my first birth, I upsurged and the whole universe and took it as mine. Indeed, I took Krishna's position and the sole creator enjoyer of my kingdom. And then in my next birth as an Indian, I upsurged the heavenly planets and took Krishna's position as the enjoyer of all that my eyes could gaze on. Slowly, I've come through to many lives where I've stolen and raped any energy in any form as mine. Now I am only this stupid, super limited earthly body that has a huge downgrade. But I am so addicted to enjoying Krishna's energy. No matter how small, I still try to be God in my little frog pond worth of my frog philosophy. But do you want to know the biggest thing? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada, and the Vrindavan residents, Parampara, somehow or other came and saved me. They accepted me into their line and engaged me in some kind of devotional service and gave me this unbelievable transcendental fortune to be in their association. Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is philosophy, isn't it, Maharaj?
Yeah, well, I
From the
mean,
book.
he's just talking about like the way it's said that a living entity comes in. It's just, just, yeah, yeah. So somehow or other did he have, so basically what did you get? Philosophy, speculation on the philosophy, not the
Lord
real.
Caitanya
Yeah. See,
did not
he
save him.
didn't get, he didn't get this. He didn't get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. This comes in the line. He
So
didn't
this is
get
why
the,
he's back here, Maharaj, as an earthly being to receive this, because he doesn't like being in this earthly body anymore. But he's come back here to receive this message from Lord Chaitanya, and he doesn't want to do that.
yeah,
Do
well,
you understand?
he's the Saviti way. He's
Okay.
confused and not clear, and and he's it's all usually it's desire that blinds people. He has a strong desire to be a teacher. It's like a cause of a blindness. It's a desire. He's living it out. So Krishna's allowing. He's not. He's saying, oh, he wants his to see. Krishna reciprocates with as a devotee surrenders to them, he rewards them. So if he's surrendering into the false ego, wanting to be a teacher and important and like an instructor and kind of like a father for others and lead them, you know. Well, the Lord said, okay, that's what you want, okay, go do it like that. Then go for that. Why? See, if he had more intelligence, he would do it this way. You want to be a teacher and a father and a mother, you come in the real gate, and then you become purified of your speculations, then relish the mellows, and your bhakti will grow, and you'll get it. You see, you'll get it that way. But see, seek the kingdom of God, and all else is added. All that other stuff. But you have to come into the kingdom the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, see, you become a teacher by your example. That's just, it's like breathing, just it's not like you have to say, I'm teacher, and, yeah, just your example is your teaching, like Lalita's example, your example. You're teaching by your example. Isn't that's the best of all teaching? You're teaching how to be a real disciple. You have a real guru. You're surrendering to the guru's teaching. You believe in what he's saying. You're reaping the result of that faith. That's your testimony. See? That's your teaching. So and then what is the end result of following the real path? You got ecstasy. Balaram doesn't have it. Obviously, he's not following the real path, right? You are.
Yeah.
See, there's your teaching right there. But for some reason, he doesn't see that as of any value. His loss.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just start from the beginning of this one. After accepting the sannyasi order, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attracted the attention of all those who have invaded him, beginning with the logicians. Thus the student infidels, fruitive workers, and critics all came to surrender under the lotus feet of the Lord. And that's why he did it, didn't he? You know, he took the path of a sannyasi to do this, so they would eventually surrender to him, because you know they would get that attraction by
Yeah, they
him.
would come closer, close, because they did criticize. Like people here, they often don't come close because I'm not following like Lord Chaitanya. But you see what Lord Chaitanya had to sacrifice. He couldn't nail people. He had to sacrifice the teaching of like showing that that's not the real path that you're following. See, so see, he was like doing both, and that's what they're trying to teach is to do both. You know, the Vaidhi and the Raganuga both. But people are usually not Raganuga. They're not really. They're trying to imitate Lord Chaitanya actually, and you really it's hard to
Doesn't
do.
work. Mm.
You know. Yeah, so you had to sacrifice because he would give respect to people that were disrespectful, and in a sense, would people, if you weren't really intelligent, you could take that association, like say Ramachandra Puri. Oh, he didn't chastise him or criticize him at all for being like a off the path or anything like this. His disciples felt very unhappy because this Ramachandra Puri was in town. They didn't like being with him, but the Lord just gave him honor and acted like a disciple and everything. Um, And so there's a sacrifice there because truth, because then people don't get they may think, oh, maybe I should be around Ramachandra Puri, who is actually a offender against his own guru. See, so anyway, that Leela is very deep with Lord Chaitanya, and it's very intricate. Um, yeah. Um, so, we're doing more of the Nityananda thing and just helping whoever will come here. And
Yeah.
if they're not too like attached to their Vaidhi path, or they've studied enough to realize it's coming to this, it's about here, and some people, in India, there have been these avadut types. Basically, they're free in their bhakti, they're free in their chanting, they're conclusive, but still, the Vaidhis, they can't be around them because they get criticized. And yeah, so anyway, it is that like that. Go ahead, read on.
Lord Chaitanya excused them all, and they merged into the ocean of devotional service. For no one can escape the unique loving network of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to deliver all the fallen souls. Therefore, therefore he devised many methods to liberate them from from the clutches of Maya.
You see, devised many methods. This is why you need a living guru, a living, empowered representative of our line, because you have to devise methods. I mean, we've devised methods for according to the time, place, and circumstance. Of how the people can be purified. So like we have our program like this. People come, they go through stuff. And yeah, it has to be that way according to the time, place, and circumstance. So only if you're empowered can you do that. Otherwise, you just remain a traditionalist, a stereotype Brahmin or sannyasi without this empowerment. People, I mean, you gotta somehow or other. Krishna has to give you the intelligence to look at what's going on in our sangha and say, well, they're getting the result. They got prema. They got a happy group. They're in ecstasy. They get together. They're making progress, deep progress. We can see it's like a lightning network here. Look. So. Um, that people have to see like that eventually, if they want. I mean, if not, we'll just, whoever Krishna sends, we'll deal with. Go ahead, read on.
All were converted into devotees of Lord Caitanya. Even the Melechans and Yavanas. Only the impersonalist followers of the Sankaracharya evaded him. All were converted into devotees of Lord Caitanya. Even the Melechans and Yavanas, only the impersonalist followers of Sankaracharya evaded him.
Yeah, you see, all they needed to do was accept Lord Chaitanya. And that was all it was all about. Whatever he did was that you would accept his association. Like he said, unless people accept me, they will be destroyed. That's why it works here, because if you accept what we're giving and providing here, the Lord is accepting you. Therefore, you become accepted as a family member. That's simple. The hardest part is just accepting this as Lord Chaitanya's family and believing in what we do. Because just by that faith, you get it. Go ahead, Lalita. What? Oh, you didn't want to say? You said, okay. Yeah, just simply by that faith in what we're doing, that openness and that faith, and not blind. I mean, because I'm talking, right? You have to develop faith in these words. That's the hard part sometimes. That's
The
Balaram.
clearing helps, Maharaj. The
What?
clearing, the clearing helps to
The
understand
clearing.
all
Yeah,
your words, the
yeah,
depth of your words. The clearing helps to understand that. And I'm not surprised that Lord Chaitanya, because he's God, and
yeah,
there's one absolute truth, and that's him. And if you don't accept that, there's no surprising that he doesn't like that, because that's the truth. That's how it is. And you're bringing that through for us now. And
yeah.
I feel so lucky.
Yeah, yeah. If people just accept, and you got to grapple with, because you got to see, like, I'm saying things, I'm saying stuff, I'm teaching what's in the books, and people think they know what's in the book sometimes. And so, are you, you're faced with the challenge. Okay, do I give up that opinion? It didn't work because you're faced with a new understanding. So people are what they are. Go ahead, read on.
While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was passing through Varanasi on his way to Vrindavan, the Mayavadi sannyasi philosophers blasphemed against him in many ways. Although a sannyasi, he does not take interest in the study of Vedanta, but instead always engages in chanting and dancing in Sankirtan.
Yeah, you see, that's where they had a hard time with him, because he wasn't engaged in the Vedanta process. He was chanting and dancing as a sannyasi and in ecstasy. They called him an emotionalist. Yeah. So then he devised another trick to get them. Yeah, he sits. He goes and he sits. He goes. Basically, he did it because his devotees, asked him. His devotees were praying, Lord, please give these sannyasis mercy. They don't understand. They're in their dry Vedanta, and so by the desire of of the devotees, see the Lord. That's what calls the Lord into action. So the Lord, because of the devotees' desire that they be converted, that's why he had his devotees. He sent them, actually. He sent them to Varanasi, Tapan Mishra, and others, because he wanted them to see this state that these Varanasi sannyasis, and they were thinking, God, we got to reside in this Mayavadi place. They didn't like it. How are we going to do that unless they're converted? So they prayed to Lord Chaitanya, and so one of the sannyasi. I don't know if it's going to be in this section or not. But one of the devotees of Lord Caitanya there in Varanasi um, came to Lord Caitanya and said, "Please have lunch with these. I invited these sannyasis. Please have lunch. And if they get close and they see your characteristics, then they will become your devotees." Because Lord Chaitanya had these beautiful, his ecstasy was so, it's like Radharani personified, and in a very humble state too at that time. He even said he sat in the corner and said, "Well, actually, I'm not fit to sit with you guys because you guys are exalted sannyasis." But was that really true? They were thinking it was true. You're not really fit. You're not studying Vedanta. You're just an emotional person over there, sahaja. You're a sahaja, You're not fit to be with. So he went with their mentality and said, "Well, actually, I'm not." And they thought, "Wow, this guy's really humble, man." And then they asked him to speak. That's where they were finished. Then he spoke like we do here. He spoke the real philosophy of Krishna consciousness and pointed out the faults in the Mayavadi philosophy, and they accepted. See,
Wow.
that's why Prabhupada wrote the books. See, so when people hear, so we're doing the same thing in a sense for those who have studied those books and speculated on them. So when they come here and listen, then they will engage in the chanting and dancing and ecstasy also, like we do. But you got to accept it. Otherwise, if you don't abandon your opinion, you can't come in. Can't come inside. You can't come in here with speculations. Yeah, go ahead there, River.
This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an illiterate sannyasi and therefore does not know his real function. Guided only by his sentiments, he wanders about in the company of other sentimentalists.
Yeah, see, they thought he was sentimental, like he had no real philosophy, but he had the bhakti. They had speculation. It's the same, just like, yeah, it's just like Balarams and the Iskans and all of them, Narayan Raj too, all of them. They have their speculations, see, but not the sentiments. See, so we have the sentiments and the real philosophy because we have Prabhupada's books and we can see them because we've been washed by this ecstatic worship. And therefore, you look at the page, you understand the real purport as it is, not, speculating on things. Okay. So they thought he was just a sentimentalist, but they didn't know that he actually had a philosophy. That philosophy is what we're teaching here. That philosophy is Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. See? And that philosophy is not being taught in ISKCON or anything else. You know why? Even though they have the books, because of speculation. See, they don't have the sentiment or the philosophy, so they're a big disadvantage. They say, "No, we have the philosophy." No, you have the speculation. They were like these sannyasis. They had the speculation and no sentiment. And what do they have? What did they have? Renunciation and austerities and sadhanas and fastings. See? And so what do ISKCON devotees have? Same thing. Renunciations, if they do it. Fastings, which they do maybe once, they eat a lot of potatoes on Ekadasi.
So Maharaj, do we? Sorry.
No sentiment and no real Krishna conscious philosophy. See, we have what Lord Caitanya had. We have the sentiment and we have the real philosophy. Go ahead there.
I was just going to say, is it that we actually live the philosophy and then we receive the sentiment? We are that sentiment. That sentiment is grown and it comes out. Do you
Well,
understand
it's
what I mean?
both. It's both. It's both because you get it. You're listening in the real process. Chapter one, Adi Lila. Yeah, Krishna comes to deliver you as the spiritual master. See, so and you're hearing from the book Bhagavat from the devotee Bhagavat, and then these mellows are awakened in you.
Perfect. Hearing
Okay,
all this blasphemy. Sorry, Maharaj, did you want to say?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Hearing all this blasphemy, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu merely smiled to himself, rejected all these accusations, and did not talk with the Mayavadis. I completely understand that. Thus, neglecting the blasphemy of the Varnasi Mayavadis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded to Mathura, and after visiting Mathura, he returned to meet the situation.
Yeah, and so see, Lord Chaitanya was there. He neglected that the blasphemy. He just did his thing. He just kept chanting in ecstasy and dancing with his devotees, just like we do. We neglect the fault finding and just continue with our activities. And we'll probably devise a few tricks, up and coming tricks. We'll see. Spontaneous, they came to him spontaneously to plan. Go ahead there,
A
Lilita.
very good trick is to show how high they are and how low we are. That's a good trick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I like the most. That's what Lord Chaitanya did here.
That's what he
A
did.
very good trick.
Oh, you're so great and
Oh,
exalted.
yeah.
Until they were actually open to hearing from him. Then see, it's all about openness. They weren't open to hearing from him because they didn't believe. But after they saw him look like he did this mystic thing where he looked like Narayan, and they thought, wow, he's like Narayan himself, like God, like us, like God. Yeah. And then they were open to listening.
Maharaj, what's that story where is it in Navadvip where this one guy was just watching Lord Chaitanya and his devotees and how they were together all the time and how the beautiful relationship he had with his devotees and how they were with him. He saw that again and again, and he obviously got some mercy from watching that. And he arranged for a load of I think it was Mayavadis, I'm not sure, or maybe intellectuals as well. And he asked Lord Chaitanya to come and speak there, and they all surrendered to him. Do you remember that
Yeah.
story?
Yeah, that's this one.
That's the one you were. Oh, okay.
That's this with the sannyasis. That's
Okay.
what they did. That's what he did.
This time, Lord Chaitanya stayed at the house of Chandraskara, although he was regarded as a Sudra or Kisatra. Kisatra. Sudra or Kisatra. For the Lord, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is completely independent. This time, Lord Chaitanya stayed at the house of Chandraskara, although he was regarded as a Sudra or Kisatra. For the Lord, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is completely independent.
Yeah, you see, that's how it is. He stayed at his house because he was open and a devotee, probably a devotee. He accepted Lord Chaitanya. And everybody else is on all everybody. And if you don't have bhakti and you don't become a devotee of a real devotee of the Lord, then you think superficially. You think externally. You think, oh, he's a Sudra. Oh, he's a good person. He's a bad person. See, people, we have that pride. It's actually pride. It's illusion also. You can be in the mode of goodness and be like that. Oh, this person's a good person. This is a bad person. Okay? And so that's not deep enough. You look according to a person's material quality and qualification. Lord Chaitanya didn't look like that. Is this a devotee? See? Same thing. The Lord, the devotees are not looking at you. Are you a sannyasi? Are you qualified or not qualified? No. Do you like what we're preaching here? Is your heart here with this? You know? Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm going to stop for a while. I feel like I got up at 12:30 last night. I probably should stop for a little bit.
Yes.
That's why I got to get worm my way in. If River wants to go live or something, maybe you want to go live after this. You're gonna go live
I might
there?
do. I think I need to just have something to. I need to do. Yeah, I don't feel so great, but I may do. Let's see. I
Let's
just have a
see.
break. Let's have a break. I have a break and then
Yeah, have a break and let's see.
come back on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a break and come
Okay.
back.
Yeah, yeah. Have a little break. I'll get some Z's in. I think I might start doing a two-part. I don't know if this. If I continue this, getting up at 12:30, I might, maybe one of you can do your class or do somebody do the class before or something before because if I do it like 2 o'clock or something, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice
So let's
change.
see. Yeah, it might change a little bit. Yeah, because I don't know this thing of 12. Every day 12:30 is getting to be a habit now, and not that it's. I don't feel bad. I mean, so especially if I go to bed like earlier, then I can. It seems to be enough. Even now, I'm not. I'm still pretty good. It's already at 4:30. 4:30. This is when we usually start, huh? Yeah. Unfortunately, the people, they might have to watch it. Let's see how long this lasts. Maybe just a temporary thing. I don't know. If it is. So I might have to change the schedule a little bit here, up for a while, and yeah, and then it might come back into maybe. So we'll see. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thanks, Lolita.
If you missed any of this, you could watch the replay, of course.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry for interrupting your class today.
It's all right, Maharaj. I feel better than before. I feel better. Your class, my class, I feel better.
Well, you were also chanting. We chanted together and get some reading in there.
Yeah, absolutely. The great thing was not listening to the mind. Transcending that. And I actually felt empowered to be able to transcend the mind to come on do class. So for me it was really good. Thank you very much. Rest well.
Yeah, good. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Get well.
It will go at some point. Yeah.